Hi, this is Jeannie from Trendy, and today, well, I have a patriotic wreath to make, but what I want to show you today is how to make a wreath that doesn't necessarily match your mesh work out. If you've been shopping for wreath supplies lately, you'll know that it's been very difficult for us to get work wreaths. It's a problem in shipping from the manufacturer and COVID and all these other issues. So right now our selection is not that great. We're trying to get in work wreaths and pencil wreaths, as hard as we can. But, if they're just not out there, we can't get them. So we're having to sometimes use a less than ideal color for the project that you want to make. So I have a patriotic wreath that I'm going to be making. And I'm going to be using red, white, and blue fabric mesh. So this is my red fabric mesh, and that number is XB97910-12. Now, my plan is to make, this is a 10-inch wreath, and this is a 10-inch hot pink pencil wreath. So my plan is to make 3 wreaths, a red, white, and blue, hook them together, and put a bow at the top. So we'll see how that works. But today, I want to show you how to make a different color wreath work. So I'm going to be doing the ruffle technique, and I'm going to cut my ruffles 30 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my mesh. I'm going to need 12 pieces. So it will take me just a minute to cut those. The ruffle technique is just one of the easiest techniques that you can do if you're a new wreath maker, and it's one that I highly recommend because it always comes out nice and even because all your ruffles are the same. I'll lose count. Of course, there's 360 inches on a roll of our mesh, and that pencil wreath, that's a 10-inch pencil wreath, and it has 12 twists on it. So it's going to take 12 ruffles. So it's going to take this whole roll of mesh. It should get 12 pieces, 30 inches in length. But if the last one comes out a little short, it won't hurt. It will never show. Oops. Just straighten up this end of this piece, okay? All right, so let me kind of get this out of the way. And this tool, I'll give you a video link for that. It's called a Deluxe or the Ultimate Collapsible Mesh Roller. We don't sell this on Trendy, but I can give you a link. It comes from Susie's Wreath Shop on Etsy. Great. You can put 3 rolls of mesh up here and cut 3 layers of ruffles at a time, and that's what I would do. But today I wanted to show you how to make this hot pink wreath work for red mesh. So to make our ruffle, we're going to do something that's called the ruffle technique, or you may have heard it called different words. It's not my technique. I've seen other people do it. I don't know who was the first to do it, but you kind of take your 30-inch piece of mesh and roll your end under a little bit, just a little bit of a curl, on each end, and then you just gather it together and make a ruffle. And what you've done, you've rolled those raw edges of that mesh to the inside, and you should have less raveling. So you take your ruffle and just put it in your twist, and you want to give it 2 or 3 turns. This wreath that I'm going to make today, it's not going to have any ribbon strips in it, so I'm going to turn my twist 3 or 4 times. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take the ends of that twist and I'm going to tuck them to the inside. Now, if you wanted to, you could snip off the ends. That's not something that I do, but you could, especially when it's not the same color like this one is. You could do that. Here at Trendy Tree, you know, we just do tutorials. We just do our wreaths for tutorials. So I may take this apart and make something else out of it. So anyway, but that's what we're going to do. Put your ruffle in there and just take that twist and turn it to the inside. And just keep going. I'm going to do that one last. So take your mesh, roll just a couple of rolls on the end, and then gather it up. Now, if it's hard for you to gather in both hands like that, you can lay it down. You can lay it down and then gather up through the middle just like that. And when you get down to that end, keep your little roll. And you've got your ruffle, okay? So I'm going to continue. I'm going to work all the way around. I started on the outer side, outer ring. I'm going to put the mesh in there, take the twist, tuck it to the inside, and kind of fluff up your ruffle, and I'm going to work all the way around the outer ring, and then I'm going to come back to the inner ring. Now, that's not bad. I mean, you know, you really, you know, it's not that visible, but if you're looking at it up close, you can still see some pink, okay? So we're going to turn it over on the back, and we're going to tighten those twists, or just kind of twist them together, get them out of the way a little more, just so they don't like pop back out. And a lot of people do this on their wreath, even if it matches, because they don't like the tips showing. So it's just, you know, that's kind of a preference, whatever you prefer there. Some people like a contrasting work wreath. On the work wreath, you know, the limbs are a little bit wider. This is a pencil wreath. And they like that contrasting color, you know, to add to their wreath or pick up in their ribbons and so forth. So it just, you know, it just depends on what you like, what you don't like. I'm just going to kind of twist those ends together, keep them, make them stay out of the way, and kind of go back and kind of refluff again. And we still have one more trick. Now, for my purposes, this would be perfectly acceptable because, you know, once that's on the wall, on the door, you're really not going to see any, you know, you're not going to see that hot pink wreath. But you can take, and this is my hot glue, my little hot glue skillet. I don't have much of a cord there, but a hot glue, and just kind of touch it to where the pink shows, and just put your mesh together. Just kind of pinch it over the twist. That's going to cover that up. This will be easier with a hot glue gun, which is not here. I'm working from the house. The hot glue gun is at the shop. But just kind of pinch just a little bit because you don't want to mess up your ruffle, but just enough to put two pieces of mesh together to go right over that twist. And that'll work if you just go, I started at the inner ring. Be careful. That mesh will, you know, squish up through the fabric mesh and burn your fingers if you're not careful. But this is be kind of, it's not going to show if you do this, okay? Now, of course, this will have to be your last step. If you're adding in ribbon strips, you know, then that's, you know, that's a little different. For this wreath, I was not planning to use any ribbon strips. It's just going to be mesh, and then it's going to have a bow, and that's all it's going to be. So this will work good for this. You don't want to use too much hot glue either, just a little bit, because you don't want your hot glue to show. So now I've done the inner ring, and I'm going to go down to the outer ring, just using a little hot glue right over that twist. Okay. I think my knife is melting, y'all. Let me get something else. This is a skewer from the kitchen, and they come in so handy. Like I say, a hot glue gun will make it a little bit easier, but I don't have it here, so. And when I get this tutorial finished that shows you if it turns out okay, I'll show you what this wreath looks like. But I'm going to make one red, one white, one blue, and then I'm going to string them all together in a vertical line and put a bow on them, and that's going to be my patriotic wreath. We'll see how that works. A 10-inch pencil wreath like this gives you a finished wreath size of about 20 inches, depending on, you know, how you make it and what else you put on it. So this is just a little extra step in case you don't have a matching wreath. You can make one that doesn't match work. And hopefully our supply issue will get better in the next few weeks. We sure hope it does. So when we do get some wreaths in, they sell out, you know, in absolutely a matter of minutes because people are waiting on them and they're looking for them. Oh, and we have a new thing at Trendy Tree called the Trendy Tree Buyers Club. It's a subscription. It's only like $9.97 a month. But if you belong to that Buyers Club and subscribe, you get a 10% discount off. And if you are a business person and have a sales tax ID, you can send that certificate in, join the club, and send the certificate in, and I think you get an additional amount off. Plus, you get notices. Like say for instance, Kara gets in a shipment of wreaths and we know they're not going to last long. Well, the first thing she does is send out an email or text to the people that are in the wreath buyers, in the Trendy Tree Buyers Club. So they get a notice that supplies are in, so they kind of get first chance at it. You have to be sitting on ready though. And I know some of you are not a fan of using hot glue on a mesh wreath because of your climate, your location, and that sort of thing. And I mean, that's, like I say, this is just a trial. I thought I would just kind of try this and see how it works. You know, you might try it and find out that it doesn't work for you. Just an experiment. Ouch, got my fingers on that one. I've got to get me a hot glue gun and bring it home, or go get another one and have it here. Ouch, get my finger again. Okay, I believe that's it. Of course, I've got hot glue threads everywhere, but anyway, so now, there's the wreath. It's made on a hot pink, but carve that up pretty good. Okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't visited us at trendytree.com, we sell all kinds of wreath making supplies, mesh, ribbons, signs, florals, forms, grapevine wreaths, just everything you need to make a wreath for your front door. So we would love to have you as a customer. Here's one that I didn't put quite enough glue on, I think, so I'm going to redo it. Okay. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.